This is Six-ish. We are trying to tell you guys things we forgot to tell you last week. That's the name of the show. It's really long. Things we forgot to tell you last week. It's basically a recap of what happened last week. Don't hesitate. Don't frown. Don't frown if you don't get what you want in this ground. Tell me about something I might have missed in this segment. But let's get into it. Is Dave Chappelle finally canceled, everybody? Can we agree? Can we agree that Dave Chappelle's canceled yet? As hard as we're trying, everyone knows what the Streisand effect is, right? Show of hands? No? Do you know what the Streisand effect is? Okay, don't feel bad, because I didn't know what this was until I read this article. The Streisand effect is basically when some stuff happens and you don't want people to acknowledge it, but you keep bringing it up, and then people don't let it fall out of a memory. And this is sort of what's happening. Even though Dave Chappelle said he'll never make another transgender joke, for some strange reason, the jokes of the past are still haunting him. He is supposed to be canceled, but just recently did a sold-out show where he was able to sell every seat. And it's one of these things where it's like, it's not even a comedy show. It's just him. He's just an older man airing his grievances in front of a paid audience. Because I don't know if the show, I didn't watch the show because I kind of said, you know what? I'm done with Dave Chappelle. I'm okay. I'm good on it. Dave Chappelle no longer needs the backing of me. It's sort of like this growing up thing, right? At a point in my life, I decided this isn't me dissing these places, but like South Park and The Simpsons and Family Guy, like I just outgrew it. It just wasn't funny anymore. The crude version of their humor wasn't funny to me. It could still be funny to a mass of people, and it could still be, politically challenging. It could be politically invasive, but it's just not for me no more. For me anymore. And I'm okay with that. But basically, he was asked to come talk to the transgender community, but he flipped the script and said, you got to do it on my terms. You got to do it on this. And it's just showing this archaic form of him, because he's showing that, once again, Dave Chappelle has all the power here. And he doesn't realize that. It doesn't dawn on him that he's in a position of power that makes him dangerous to other people. And people are like, oh, is it because, well, they're not jokes, especially if they're falsehood jokes that could affect the way someone lives. So once again, if someone was out there saying black people have the ability to punch people, kill people with their bare hands, and they're 20 times stronger, people are going to be way more defensive around black people. It's a joke, but it's being taken as truth. And when you say things like gender's a fact, gender's a figment of our imagination. It's something we created. He's confusing gender and sex together, and that's what's dangerous. But he's not canceled. I don't think Dave Chappelle can be canceled unless he just goes way overboard. But as long as he's playing this pepper line and getting Netflix views and doing what the man wants him to, he'll be fine. But I advise people to move on, because you're not going to get what you want from him, which is for him to bend. And unfortunately, that's the one thing he's not going to do. Hey, there's people talking to me. Hey, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of Keisha. So proud of Keisha. The U.S. Copyright Office just struck a blow to supporting the right to repair. This is an interesting topic for me, and for two reasons. Okay, so this kind of has multiple layers to it. First layer is right to repair. What is that? That's basically people who owned something like an iPhone or something like that, right? And it breaks. I shouldn't have to pay Apple's exorbitant prices in order to get my phone fixed, or lose the equipment, or not have an official outlet, or fix it myself by buying the pieces to fix it, and fix it for a cheaper price, because Apple has the right to repair my device. This goes super deep, because this also spreads to software. I'm not saying I'm that person, but I'm not saying you should do this. But there's a way that you can make old software work on computer systems. Well, imagine this. In 2015, I did the honest to God thing and bought my copy of Adobe Premiere Audition, animation, and After Effects. And I even upgraded it twice, so I got it all twice within 3 years. So that means I have 2018. Perfect, beautiful, right? Everything's great. But then Adobe stopped supporting the server that held the price that I owned for it. And you would think to yourself, okay, that's not something they had to do, so why did they have to turn it off? For the motherfucking money. Don't act like you don't know. It's for the goddamn money. They turned off the servers so I don't get to use the old software I was using in the past, and I have to buy the new one. Now you would think, okay, hey, let's not tax this man. This is a $900 piece of equipment, right? Let's give him a discount or something. They didn't give me no goddamn discount. Adobe didn't even email me back. So it's shit like this that's pissing me off and makes people like me want to steal software. Is it right? Of course not. Is it something worth doing? You goddamn right.
Damn.
Because why should I have to pay for something that I already had? It's the equivalent of PlayStation. Me having the this is something that San Andreas has gotten away. San Andreas 5 has been on 3 consoles, and it's crazy to me. But if you own something, it's sort of blurring the lines of, do you really own the stuff that you are using? If Apple decides to start charging you not for the phone, because eventually the phones are going to become too good. The phones are going to hit a point where they're just too good. So instead of them charging you for the phone, what if Apple just starts charging you for the iOS? And while you out here, and for all y'all that don't know, I got the, look, where is that? Where is that? This is real. Hold on. I'm rummaging through this thing. I got the original iPod on me. I stay ready. But imagine if Apple was like one day, yo, your iPhone 13 in 2030 is no longer usable, and they shut your phone off because you didn't upgrade, and it costs $1,000 to upgrade your device. That's something they can do with this stuff. So I think it's important that we have laws to kind of prevent that. But money talks, bullshit walks. Something that Weezy said. Hey, Keisha, you know. It don't work, but I'm gonna get it repaired. You know I'm gonna get it repaired. There's a game called Far Cry 6. Ubisoft is a very controversial video game setup, but Ubisoft is trolling the Far Cry 6 players for quitting the game. Now, Far Cry is a video game where you basically run around. It's an open world game. You play. It's like a drug kingpin. You're gonna stop the drug kingpin. Yada yada yada. But I like Ubisoft games. I was a big fan of this is a dude from Breaking Bad. He's in the game. He's like the main bad guy. And look at how great the graphics have gotten. You would have thought that was a real person. That was really him. That's him in a video game. So fucking good. But basically, they make a bunch of games, and this wasn't the first time I experienced this, but this is the first time I experienced it while I was doing the live show. But basically, they are like sending you emails or texting you saying, hey, you played the game for about 3 hours. Hope you're not giving up. Hope you're not letting the bad guy win. They're like antagonizing you. And this is like some of the stuff they were getting, like, hola, Rojo. I wanted to thank you for giving me the free reign in Yara. Take it easy and know that Yara is in capable hands. Like, he's antagonizing you for doing this. And I think it's so good. And I'm just like, I think this is good marketing. It got me to talk about it. But I don't know how I thought about like how this would work for other things. Like, what if like Starbucks or McDonald's did this to you? Like, hey yo, what's good? You ain't came back and got your pumpkin spice in a few days. What, you cheating on me? Like, what if brands started treating us like property? Low key they already do, but what if brands really just started going out there on some, hey, we was watching your location and notice you stopped off at McDonald's for coffee. Now we're saying at Starbucks that we're not saying that you can't go see other people. You're in an open relationship, but where's the loyalty? Like, and what if they just started like, keying your car and shit because you didn't come get like golden arches? Like, wow, like it's just a little bit too much too soon. But like, yo, when you have this type of access, I don't know if this is something we can actually afford to do. Yo, hey, and Keisha's right. They like, if you leave something in your Amazon cart, they will email you to death. And it's actually a tactic. You'll see a lot of people use this. Like, they'll leave something in their cart on purpose, and they'll come back and go forth like 15 times and notice that the price will drop because they're trying to get you to buy something. So it's super interesting. There's tactics around it, but it's super interesting. But yeah. Don't let these video games punk you. Speaking of something important, I don't know how to say this word, but they this Technion. Hold on, let me get the computer saved for me because I got this ability now.
Technion.
Oh, Technion. Technion breakthrough could lead to diabetes cure. So these lovely ladies, pictured as Professor. Oh man, I can't say her name either. Hold on. Oh, let me see. Gotta pay respect. Shumalat Langenberg. That's on the left, and student Rita Beckerman. These two PhD and a professor. Shout out to clap it up for the ladies. Yeah, out here getting the education. Shout out to the 7 people in here watching. Drop a bomb. Yeah. Shout out. Get hype. Yeah. Excellence. You love to see it. But basically, they might have figured out a way to cure type 2 diabetes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Type 2 diabetes is the genetic, it's the one you acquire. So it's like from your bad health, bad diet, and stuff like that. I think type 1 is the one that is like genetically acquired. But a segment from here, diabetes is caused by insulin resistance and reduction of cells' ability to absorb sugar. Its long-term complications include heart disease, strokes, damage to the retina, your eyesight, the glaucoma. That can also result in blindness, kidney failure, and poor blood flow in the limbs. That may lead to amputation. That's the necrosis of the extremities. I want to know what they fed it into rodents' muscles, and they noticed there was a drop off by 90%. So currently around 34 million Americans suffer from diabetes. 90% of them have type 2. So yeah, that's the predominant one. It's from the bad diets. An effective treatment and one that is one-time treatment rather than a daily medication. So this could really solve a lot of issues. I'm super interested to hear more about it. It's still in the early stages. They were doing it on mice and rodents, which is always a preliminary for us, but yeah. So I'm super hyped to see what comes of it. And, once again, clap it up. Shout out. Drop a bomb for him on the way out. Drop a bomb on him for the way out. Virginia Councilman deletes apologize and still defends photo of blackface costume. This was this Halloween. And I just want to say, let's go to the solo real quick. Are we still doing this in 2021? Like, the fact that I had to put this as a prerequisite for the show, like, in honor of my late friend Marcus Pitts, I went out as a legendary Randy Watson tonight. Give it up for my band Sexual Chocolate. Like, when this is where people will say critical race theory is not important. Take a joke. It's just a joke, right? This is what trans people be saying. Take a joke, right? It's okay. Don't take life so serious. But it's hard for me not to take it serious when you're playing with my fucking livelihood. because he thought this was a great idea. Like, let me walk you through this race. What a racist really goes through. In his mind, he said, "I'm gonna do blackface, and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do it." He's trying to justify it to. I'm gonna do it with taste and class. I'm gonna get the whole outfit, and I'm gonna get the whole design and everything, and look and the feel of everything. And then he sums up enough courage. He counts his coins. He pays for the items. And then as he gets the items, he says, "But what if they think I'm just some regular white guy? What if they think I'm just some regular white guy? There has to be a way of me proving that I am paying homage to a movie about coming to America and being inundated and literally missing the whole entire title about how this culture can suffocate and destroy and degrade your own identity. And when truth, all that matters is you being yourself, because that's what people really appreciate." And there's this, and he literally stole that from a movie where a guy played multiple characters. He missed the nuance. He went right over the fuck over his let it glow. It went all over his head. It's still on the fucking couch. It's still a wet spot on the couch. And then he told people he's close and near to, and they probably told him no, don't do it. But as not to hurt him, they probably enabled him. To show me you don't have black friends without telling me your best friend's a black friend. You have black friends. Like, this is a guy who says he has black friends, and I'm here to tell you, they're not your friends. They just tolerate you. A vast majority of black people in this world just tolerate white people like this. We tolerate you because we have to work with you. We tolerate you because we know you either sign one of our paychecks or you've been told you're important. So we have to keep that facade up. But like, people like this don't get to exist around me. He would have caught these soul glow. And I would let that shit ride on your ass. I would have let that shit ride on you. The post quickly drew backlash from the users. Hammer was in detected posts. Others were visible on the page. News was able to screenshot before it deleted. And I just want you to know, I planned on putting blackface in the title of this story, but I couldn't because YouTube blocks it. When people do this, we need to be able to put them on camera, right? We need to be able to say that this councilman, here's his name, he apologized, deleted the apology, then doubled down and said he was doing it in honor of one of his friends. It's just weird. Randy Watson. Because he passed away. Randy Watson, you're not a fan of Randy Watson. I dare this dude to name another video or movie or significant art contribution this guy was in. He can't. But they'll find any excuse to talk about it's not racism. Fucking idiot. Meet the guy who spent $150 a year to eat all his meals at Six Flags. This story is freaking phenomenal. I want y'all to know something about millennials. People be talking about millennials like the old generation be like, y'all not built tough. Y'all not ready for this. This man got type 2 diabetes by eating lunch and dinner every single meal for a year at Six Flags by using the $150 pass entry fee, which grants you 2 meals. And it's sort of like a weird thing where it's the window between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So if he gets there early enough, he can have lunch. And then as he's leaving from work, he goes there. So basically, he strategically got a job around Six Flags, heard about this thing, bought the pass, and did this repeatedly. Enough that he paid off his student loans and bought a house. And he's married now. And it's crazy that he was able to get away with this for so long. But you gotta love a man who can dig the system. And the biggest compliments to to Six Flags because he sustained himself off of this. Now, I don't know what this guy looks like. I don't know what his labs look like, but this can't be healthy. This can't be realistic. This can't be good for you. And his name's Dylan. So you know he's for the streets. Like you got nothing but respect for you, man. But kudos to this dude. Update if you are interested in doing this, because there is a Six Flags about 17 miles south of me. The price has gone up, but they have a bigger variety now with healthier options, salads being included. And for all you don't know, Six Flags food is expensive without this. You can see that little sign in the background that says $25. You know that's for a can of water, right? Six Flags, the only place that air costs money. Happiness costs. You pay when people talk about. They go, why do you go to Six Flags? You paying for happiness. So you better make sure you get your damn price, your money's worth for sure. Y'all remember like a couple months ago there was a Biden bus traveling through Texas and they were being harassed and even at one point even got driven off the road. Well, a lawsuit's going out for that, and in that lawsuit they were able to get the 911 recordings, which basically, this was the Biden bus, which basically had the recordings of the police officers laughing. Now, I want y'all to understand this. I always say this, and people think I'm crazy for it. Police are only messing with people of color and poor people right now, because that's who they're paid to mess with. Once there's a big enough political divide, the police will be used to attack political opponents. They do it in less savory countries, and America's not far off. This 200-year plus experiment is almost over. And once this shit's over, if black people are still here, there's a good chance we might make it. But the moment we decide to exit stage left, it's over. The lawsuit is going out. I hope everyone involved with this is I hope they sue them to Kingdom Come. And I hope they use that same money to beat them and turn Texas purple. It's blue. It's just crazy that's the response you get. Someone's physically trying to force you off the road, and it's not, how can we help? It's not send our people there. For 90 minutes they were being harassed, and they sent nobody. Crazy. It reminds me of the story too. Police was out here lying about a lady who got sexually assaulted and raped on a train. Said no one came to help, and they were lying. Someone actually did help. They called the police. They stopped the person. They abducted the person for the police. They did the police's job. Police came to credit and then blamed the people for not doing it sooner. It's crazy. Police are scumbags, man. Scumbags. What we talking about here? More, and it's just not the police. And this is what I talk about when I say it with me now. Systemic racism is something that us as black people are gonna have to deal with. You want to live in America, you're gonna have to learn to deal with this. Because after a miscarriage, woman is convicted of manslaughter. The fetus was not viable, advocates say. A woman convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 4 years in prison after suffering miscarriage has received public outcry for what some say is an injustice. Brittany Powell, 20 years old, was found guilty by a jury earlier this month after the Comanche County. I'm going to say Comanche County. Let's see what they say.
Comanche County.
I was right. Comanche County District Attorney Office in Oklahoma said her methamphetamine use was the cause of the loss of her fetus. So this story is crazy because Ain't no talk here about how if there was proper social programs, she could have gotten into a program that could have gotten her off those drugs. Ain't no talk about how if there wasn't rampant war on drug propaganda everywhere, how they could have probably done something to curb this by legalizing less invasive drugs. There's no talk about that. Maybe if sex education was approved in Texas schools, that maybe she would know better because she would know the outcomes for using said drugs. But here's the biggest secret. Maybe if they legalized abortion, she wouldn't have to go through this. Because once again, it's her body, her rights. And if you don't want to see someone like her doing this, set her up in a program where she's not able to do something like this. Paul was between 15 and 17 weeks pregnant when she suffered a miscarriage on January 4, 20. And the thing about this kind of crazy is how did the medical examiner reported, how did this information get to the police? That's crazy. Reports said miscarriage could have happened due to genetic anomaly or placenta abruption. They did note there was evidence of Pola's using methamphetamine as it was found in her baby's liver, brain, and the medical examiner did not assign a cause of death. So they definitely reached on this. It's super crazy. And it's maddening to see this. But once again, these are these red states who are punishing people for not knowing what to do. Because if they had social programs to better protect these people, you wouldn't have this problem. But Republicans, they argue on situations of disingenuous beliefs. They don't really care about pro-life stances because they don't care about current life in the country. So this is just mindless. It's mindless. I don't see her staying in jail much longer. But the Central PA police officers fired for turning in fake COVID-19. And normally I do the segment of the Herman Cain award-winning segment, but I just wanted to take this time to talk about some of the most whiniest, brattiest police officers in the country. And the consequences that a lot of them are facing and how it warms my soul. Because just remember, an officer was willing to fake a COVID vaccine card. How many other false statements and reports has he turned in that has sent people to jail for years, for decades? We out here sending people to jail off of the most random fuckboy type people in the world. An officer was told he didn't have to wear a mask, and if he didn't want to wear a mask, all he had to do was provide his COVID vaccine card. He faked one, brought it in, they caught him, they fired him, and he needs to be going to jail. In every single case he's ever been in, he needs to have his shit revoked. Like, people be out here really putting their faith in these officers. I've worked in a police department, and I remember when I was doing my funky ass tour, I said, damn, why are all these doors locked? Oh, we got important sensitive information there. We don't want to get the public in there. The public walks around here? No, it's just y'all. So why y'all locking the doors on yourselves? First, red flags, right? That's what we talk about. Then we went into the locker room, and I was like, dang, I want this locker. You can't have it. Why? Someone has their lock on it. That's crazy. In the police department where everyone's supposed to have integrity and supposed to be honest and supposed to be upstanding, the cream of the crop, right? They got locks on their lockers. And that's all I needed to ever know about police officers. That's all I ever needed to know about them. Mindless. So these idiots cost themselves jobs, but it's just not these local idiots, right? Federal people. You're federal, like you took it up a notch. Feds could be fired, imprisoned for lying about vaccination status. Federal employees who misrepresented their COVID-19 vaccination status to their agencies face firing, potential criminal prosecution, the Biden administration warns on Friday. The Safer Federal Workforce Task Force, a group, that's a mouthful. The Safer Federal Workforce Task Force. You fucking idiots. What does that stand for? Okay, it's not even clever. A group President Biden created by executive order that led by the White House General Service Administration. Hey, shout out to them. I used to work for them. Office of Management and Budget confirmed in new guidance agencies would not initially ask for proof of vaccination, but they could follow up for documentation if they receive a good faith allegation that strongly suggests an employee lied on their ascension form. What's that? Ascension? I want to say AT&T.
Attestation.
Attestation. I said it right the first time. Those certifications of vaccination forms will soon go out via email. Federal employees. So that's crazy. Y'all could be going to jail for that shit. That's crazy. Crazy. Oh no, it's already. Hold on. How much time I got left? I got 2 minutes before Nafi has to get on. Nafi, hurry up. Get in Discord. I ain't even opened up the Discord yet. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. Let me open up the Discord because I know Nafi probably in there like, what? Where is this animal? That's what she's gonna be saying. This is crazy. If you're in Texas, just know you're living in the weirdest version of this. QAnon supporters gather over theory that JFK Jr will emerge, announced Trump to be reinstated. Now, let's just keep this in mind. JFK Jr died 20 years ago. More than 20 years ago. JFK Jr, he's been dead for over 20 years now. And look at how many people showed up to this. And this is in Dallas. This is who you're living with, Dallas people. This is who you're living with. And Keisha, I can generalize every cop as a bad cop. It's very easy for me. Because every time a bad cop, because this is the truth on, they say, well, one apple can't ruin the batch. Have you ever left a rotten piece of fruit in a batch of good fruit and come back in a week and see what happens? Come back in a week and tell me what happens to that batch of fruit. It's true in nature and it's true in real life. A good cop not speaking on bad cops is a bad cop. But moreover, these QAnon people are fucking nuts. They're nuts. These people all came here to take an announcement. Trump wasn't even within there. They had banners made. I'm trying to buy a new car. I could use this money for my car payments. Where do these people get money? This is how you know that like certain people have just too much money. These are people who have what I call too much money. It's crazy. But obviously Trump is not president right now, so these people are idiots. This TikToker star who provoked a 100 mile per hour police chase for fun was caught on camera and arrested by the highway patrol. He was, okay, one, you're a scrub. Because this dude, I remember this dude, he was bragging about how he makes $400,000 a year and you could only buy a Dodge Challenger? My guy. Gross. You make $400,000 a year and that's the best your tattoo can look? Gross. 17-year-old punk. And this is one of those cases of affluenza, but you're black. And now he could be facing anywhere from 5 to 15 years. Here's the video. Oh, here he is. This is the police officer's dash camera. It's a red light. Like he's in the crosswalk. Wow. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. He bragged about making $400,000, and upon realizing in being indicted that he could possibly, spend 15 years in jail, he has a daughter. I'm here to tell you, my guy, by the time you get out of jail, your daughter's gonna be calling someone else daddy because your ass couldn't make proper decisions as a father. Let that shit sink in. Because you didn't want to be a father figure, your daughter gonna be calling someone else daddy, sitting in somebody else's lap saying thanks for the birthday gifts, thanks for the Christmas gifts, thanks for the Easter gifts, thanks for dinner, thanks for lunch for the next 15 years. I hope you get everything taken away from you. Honestly, I hope you get everything taken away from you. Not because I think you're a genuinely evil person, but I don't think you deserve it. You don't know pain. You don't know suffering. You don't know what it's like to truly be nothing. And for that and that reason alone, I wish nothing but badness for you. Just you. I hope your daughter goes on to live a virtuous life. Hope your baby mama gets the rest of your checks, buys a house, invests in something, hits the lottery. I hope they make it great. I hope they forget about you. Hope when you get out, they don't want nothing to do with you. I hope you understand your loneliness. I hope you understand that the 300 million people who are following you, they'll never write you a single letter because most of them don't know how to put addresses on envelopes. TikTokers don't know how to put addresses on envelopes. I guarantee that. I hope your existence is miserable. Honestly, you're the worst. I got two more stories. I'm almost ready. I got like 4 minutes. Quick story here. Anti-vax nurse films herself being escorted out of Kaiser Permanente for refusing vaccine. These people are the absolute worst because she knows what it was. She knows what it is.
Let's go.
So proud of herself too.
Thank you. I am being escorted out of Kaiser Permanente Hospital for my religious beliefs.
This is a nurse who calls the police or calls like campus police because like one of her black patients asked for extra blankets.
Because I don't want to get the jab. And I asked all day for someone to explain to me why my sincerely held religious beliefs are not good enough for Kaiser.
Because fuck your beliefs.
And no one was able to do that for me. Bye. So now they're escorting me out because I wanted an answer and I'm not leaving without an answer. And
well, joke's on you because you are leaving and now you don't have a job. And she's just one of those, she reminds me of one of those nurses that's like tries so hard to be liked by everybody. And no one likes you. Wait, hold on. What was I wanted this to be my last story. Yeah, okay, cool. And my last story is Elon Musk is willing to pay to sell $6 billion worth of his own wealth if the UN can prove it will solve world hunger.
Challenging a United Nations official to show him how a $6 billion donation could help those struggling with hunger around the world. Now, this all began when David Beasley, the director of the United Nations World Food Program, said during a CNN interview that billionaires, including Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, could offer a one-time donation that would help tens of millions of people suffering from hunger. Now, according to Beasley, a $6 billion donation would help 42 million people on the brink of starvation. Now, to this call to action, Musk said in a Twitter post yesterday, quote, if WFT can describe on this Twitter thread exactly $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. Now, he also added that any explanation must use open source accounting so the public can see exactly how that money is spent. And to that, Beasley said in his own Twitter reply, quote, I can assure you that we have the systems in place for transparency and open source accounting. Your team can review and work with us to be totally confident of such. Now, Beasley also responded to some other Twitter users' criticism that the United Nations Food Program spent $8.4 billion in 2020 and not solved world hunger by saying that 8.4 billion rather had covered what was needed to reach 115 million people last year with food assistance, but that the organization would need an additional $6 billion now on top of their existing funds in order to address the, quote, perfect storm for the compounding impact of COVID, conflict, and climate shocks. Now, of course, whether this move or this donation of this scale actually gets any traction remains to be seen, though it certainly has been a talking point on Twitter. And we should note that, of course, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has become the world's richest person in tandem with that rise in the market capitalization of Tesla. That stock is up today at another record high. It's on track to rise for a fourth consecutive session. And based on Bloomberg data right now, Elon Musk's net worth is at about $311 billion. And that sum has increased by more than $141 billion so far for the year to date alone. So certainly still seeing his net worth continuing to climb in tandem with Tesla stock. And again, we are seeing those shares moving to the upside today as well, guys.
Shout out to anybody who owns 2 shares of Tesla like myself. Do I think $6 billion can solve world hunger? No. I think people just not being selfish in the world could solve world hunger. Like, you don't need $6 billion to solve world hunger. You just need people to be compassionate past whatever their ideologies. Do I think it could help? You goddamn right. Do I think Elon Musk could stand to lose $6 billion? I think it'd be an awesome flex. I also honestly would think it would be an honest flex.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's worth a lot more today than that $311 billion. So how philanthropic is Elon Musk? What are some of his previous donations that he's made?
Well, Karina, Elon Musk, of course, as his fortune has climbed over the past more than a year now, of course, again, moving up with Tesla stock, Elon Musk has pointed out in the past that it has been a little bit difficult to actually vet what types of organizations would make the most impact when it comes to actually making these donations. He wrote in a Twitter post in January,
That's like
quote,
jargon.
Feedback is always super.
That's jargon for basically he doesn't want to donate. Shut up. There's a bunch of you could donate to somebody independent if you want to. Like, that's a bunch of BS. But Elon Musk could definitely put a dent in world hunger, and if he had a vested interest in it, he wouldn't even be up for discussion. He would just do it. But hey, that's the segment. That's the things I wanted to tell you about last week, which is the name of the show, which is things I forgot to tell you last week. So if there's something I missed, something you wanted me to talk about, something you want to hear more about, let me know. But everything else between time and the meantime, this is the Identity Booth. My name is Heero. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We getting real famous on TikTok. I almost went viral, bro. I almost went viral, man. The algorithm be hating on me. But we gonna go ahead and push this ad. Be right back. For all y'all that don't know, we got the little sub button right there. You can sub.
But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime, and I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line.